that's why it's dark in the back. There's not much we can do about that right now, so unfortunately the lights up here are working, but we've got as much light as we're going to have this morning. So just wanted to make you aware of that as you come in and grab your seats. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome. My name is Sean Clayton, and it's my privilege to serve as the chairman of the Board of Trustees. And on behalf of the board, we'd like to welcome you to Broadway Baptist Church this morning to enjoy and congratulate our 2019 class of our seniors this year. So thank you for being here. Please turn your cell phone off and as we begin our program. Thank you.
morning. My name is Meredith Lee, and this year I had the opportunity to serve as class president. On behalf of the class of 2019, I would like to welcome you here today. Now our class chaplain, Joseph Brinkley, is going to open us in prayer.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you on a Spirit Day. I just thank you for blessing us with this school, Lord, and just allowing us to be able to go through this school and just allow us to be able to graduate today, Lord. I just pray that you bless us in the next couple of years and just allow us to succeed. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please be seated. I'm Sam Wrigley. I'm the high school principal. It's my pleasure to work with these kids over some of them for the last couple of years, some for the last 6 years, and some we've known for the last 15 years here. And so we appreciate your trust in our school and your trust with us, with your students. It is now my pleasure to invite you to watch the class of 2019 senior video.
I would describe the class of 2019 as talented, charismatic, motivated, compassionate, and the best you've ever seen.
When the moment comes, you say, I did it all. I did it all. I owned every second that this world could give. I saw so many places, the things that I did. Yeah, with every broken bone, I swear I lived. This world can be cold and bitter. Feels like we're in the dead of winter, waiting on something better. But am I really gonna hide forever? Over and over again, I hear your voice in my head. Let your light shine, let your light shine for all to see. Start a fire in my soul, fan the flame and make it grow. So there's no doubt or denying. Let it burn so brightly that everyone around can see.
now. Everything's about to change. We face tomorrow as we say goodbye to yesterday. A chapter ending, but the story's only just begun. A page is turning for everyone. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me wherever I go. Wherever I go. So excited, I can barely even catch my breath. We have each other to lean on for the road ahead. This happy ending is the start of all our dreams, and I know your heart is with me. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me wherever I go. It's time to show the world we've got something to say. A song to sing out loud will never fade away. I know I'll miss you, but we'll meet again someday. We'll never fade away. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me. So I'm moving on, letting go, holding on to tomorrow. I've always got the memories while I'm finding out who I'm gonna be. We might be apart, but I hope you always know you'll be with me. Yeah, wherever I go. Wherever I go. I always knew this day would come. We'd be standing one by one with our future in our hands. So many dreams, so many plans. I always knew after all these years there'd be laughter, there'd be tears, but never thought I'd walk away with so much joy but so much pain. And it's so hard to say goodbye, but yesterday's gone. We gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember you. Another chapter in the book. Can't go back, but you can look. And there we are on every page. Memories I'll always save. Up ahead, only open doors. Who knows what we're heading towards? I wish you love, I wish you luck. For you the world just opens up, but it's so hard to say goodbye. gotta keep moving on. I'm so thankful for the moment, so glad I got to know you. The times that we had, I'll keep like a photograph and hold you in my heart forever. I'll always remember.
Bye, Miss Williams! And then your skin flakes off and you die.
Miss Williams, can this actually happen to me?
Yes, and it will.
Okay, now back to the lesson. Boys, are y'all gonna join us today?
No, Miss Williams.
True!
Mrs. Williams, can we please move the test? The cat practical is canceled. So what's on the test?
Literally everything.
Can we have a word bank?
Miss Williams?
Micah!
So what's the answer?
Either death, pregnancy, or the liver.
We
Bye,
Miss
Milligan! Bryce and Miller are bullying me. Boys, stop being mean to McKenna. Caroline, how is Brennan? I just love Brennan.
Thanks for the IPC award. Miss Milligan, Karina's bullying me.
I promise until Thanksgiving I won't bully Abby anymore.
Miss Milligan, will you print something off for me?
Oh, we have a test tomorrow? Yeah, I for sure won't be here. I might be sick or something.
Miss Milligan, can I finish my test outside? I can't concentrate.
Hey, Miss Milligan, we forgot to pray.
Oh, and help the sick, the sad, and the lonely.
We love
you. Bye, Miss Skinner. Don't just know why. It's the home office.
What is the definition of insanity?
It's 11:55. Whip post!
My 3-year-olds do this in Sunday school.
It's only 2 labs due tomorrow.
We don't need to do a test run.
Quick, Dr. Bunny Rabbit.
I don't know, you tell me.
Radio waves, microwaves, infrared, radiation, visible light, ultraviolet, X-rays, gamma rays. Love you. Bye, Miss Johnson.
Eli has my answer.
Jelly babies.
Dylan, get your calculator out.
Becca's on the floor.
I'll get Nurse Bitsy.
How did Matt get an A in this class?
If y'all think you've got it, then please leave so everyone else who wants to focus can still focus. If time is a non-bacterial quantity, does that mean time travel is not possible?
We love you. Miss Fox. Micah.
If you don't understand chapter 1, just get out.
You.
Let's give Joseph a fake quiz.
Oh, I'm failing.
Fox is playing.
We miss you, Arlie and Brendan. Bye, Miss Fox. We love you.
I'm so confused.
You don't need to know that.
Cade and Wade.
Circle, slide, divide, strikes again.
No, the tomato method.
Dance with who brung you.
Looking forward to our next Hinty Award.
Mr. Hinton, I lost my homework again.
Mr. Hinton, my heart rate is through the roof right now.
Is this even algebra?
Make wise choices. Bye, Mr. Hinton. We love you.
And so does your mom.
Drew, wake up.
I'm awake.
Bye, Miss Idleheart.
Thank you for killing all the wasps. Thank you for being a mom and the popcorn.
Can I please go sit by the kiln?
Hey, what's for lunch today?
Thank you for dealing with me. Can we go make some tea and lay on your couch?
Who can hit the floor the fastest? We love you. We love you. Bye, Mr. Dickerson. No eating in the studio. So, how's life?
Wait, so the stage doesn't come off?
Do your job. Bye, Mr. Dickensie. Kevin?
Kevin? Who's Kevin?
No food or drinks in the bedroom. I'm actually quitting this time.
I'm going to the art room. I'm over this.
I'm going to India, so you guys have fun.
I'm staying in guard.
Okay.
Bye, Mr. Friend. Bye, Miss Hopkins.
Do you want to go on my coffee run? Can I go with you?
This is the police. Sorry we talk too much.
Spin the bar blindfolded. You got it.
Y'all look miserable.
Where's all this stage crew?
Best 5 minutes of our lives.
Ethan, why aren't the lights on?
Is their mic on?
Bye. Bye, Miss Bittner. Yes, I'm rooming with Caroline, and yes, I sprayed my sister with mace. Knock, knock. Ah!
Wait, does anyone know where the bus keys are?
What color was the houses we painted in Jamaica? Blue. 1 honey bun cupcake for you.
Yes. Remember that time that I sewed my pillow project to my skirt?
We love you. Bye, Miss Fox. 50 more kicks. Miss Fox, I don't feel so good. I kind of just broke my nose, but I'll still keep going. 4 more laps.
When you say run a mile, did you mean run one, walk one, run one, walk one, or?
To the wall now, wall sits. Don't stop believing. Bye, Miss Fox, we love you. Bye, Coach Devin. Bye, Coach Hoyne. Do we have to run a 6-4-6 today? Team on 3, work on 6. 1, 2, 3. Team 4, 5, 6. Work.
Bye, Coach K. You gotta be a bulldog.
Bye, Coach Spain.
What's for breakfast, Coach Spain?
Still can't hit my curveball.
Bye, Coach Jenkins.
Coach Jenkins, it's dark outside.
Bye, Coach Fox. Thanks for the awful BP. Bye, Coach Cassio.
Run my defense.
No, Tristan.
It's playoff time.
The hay's in the barn. Bye, Coach Henderson. Bye, Coach Tacko.
Got that 0-10 drip.
0-10, baby.
Bye, Miss Hopkins. Does the work side count? Hey, Kirk. Who's Kirk? Hamlet was just an emo teenager. We love you. Bye, Miss Di. If you really love me, bring me chicken nuggets for lunch. We love you. Bye, Miss Debbie. Bye, Miss Melody. Thanks for all the green slips. Bye, Dr. Mackey. We came all this way. Bye, Mr. Wrigley.
Warm up the bus. Warm up the bus. Warm up the bus.
Bye, Mr. Ferguson. Jim. Fergalicious definition makes the boys go loco. We love you.
Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, growing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water. Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.
Isn't it great to look back over the last few years, see what our kids have done? You can clap for them, it's okay. At this time, it's my honor to introduce the salutatorian for the class of 2019. Among her educational achievements, she's been on the yearly honor roll, 9th through 12th grade. In 10th grade, she was magna cum laude recipient of the National Latin I exam. In 11th grade, she received the same magna cum laude recipient for the Latin II exam. In 12th grade, she was a recipient of the Athlete of the Month in October for a Ryan England State Farm student, and a Bancorp South Reaching for the Stars recipient. She's been active in the school as a member of the soccer team, 8th through 12th grade. She's selected all-conference and all-district player for 4 years. She's a member of the basketball team, 9th through 12th grade, and on 2 state championship teams in 2016 and 2017. She's a member of the Knowledge Bowl, her junior and senior year, member of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in 10th through 12th grade. She's been a member of the National Honor Society and also Mu Alpha Theta 10th through 12th grades. In her community, she's been a soccer volunteer in 9th grade, been part of the Chick-fil-A Leadership Academy event organizer in 10th and 11th. She's a volunteer coach for elementary basketball and soccer summer camps 9th through 11th grade. She's been a volunteer tutor, a professional tutor, and a competitive soccer player, reaching a state semifinalist in 11th and 12th grade. She's also been a student ambassador 9th through 12th grade here at Northpoint. She's a member of Life Fellowship Church, will be attending Mississippi State University in the fall, graduating with a GPA of 4.791. She's the daughter of Adrian and Ryan Richardson. Please welcome Gianna Maribella Richardson, or you can call her Gigi.
How should we as teenagers quantify intelligence? A GPA, a standardized test score, or as the ability to use our talents, whatever they may be, to the best of our ability to glorify God? In a college preparatory school, it's hard to think that numbers aren't as important as your faith, but it's undeniably true. Anxiety burdens a majority of the students here, not because of a broken education system, but a lack of understanding on where we fit individually into the body of Christ. God did not make us all to be great test takers, and I am thankful for it. Our society would not be as significantly impacted by the Christian faith if we were all of the same heart and mind. And God gave us different hearts and minds so that the only definite connection that could be seen across skin color, political view, vocation, IQ level is the same heart for him and passion to bring others to him. Right here, okay. Let's go back to the New Testament even. Jesus didn't recruit 12 engineers to follow him. He got a few fishermen and a tax collector, so that the only thing that non-believers could see when they looked at his followers was their own hearts and a passion to bring others to him. Okay. Christians today should be able to demonstrate through Jesus, to demonstrate God's love and capacity to change through whatever medium they're best suited for. So as a soon-to-be graduate of Northpoint, I want my underclassmen to understand how important it is to first define your studies before they define you. If they aren't a tool to further his plan, don't let them be all-consuming. Our God is jealous, and our hearts aren't spiritually big enough for mammon or our own pride to share a spot with God on the throne of our lives. Even though it sounds patronizing now, your grades should not be the end-all be-all of high school. It took me 4 years to realize I was more than an ACT and GPA. Because God gives us so many routes to glorify him, we truly cannot stray from his path unless we intentionally become apathetic to his cause. In physics, the law of inertia tells us that an object in motion tends to stay in motion unless an outside force acts upon it. If we applied this law spiritually, we can easily correlate the lack of contentment we as teenagers have in high school studies because they're not supposed to be our center of attention. This anxiety is not a burden that we should endure on our own for the sake of an A+, but a struggle that's only solution is wholly relying on God for direction. So, who are we to say intelligence should be constrained to quantitative figures like GPAs? To my fellow graduates, if you don't get anything else from this speech, please understand that when we walk onto our respective college campuses in 3 months, no one except for you and maybe your advisor will care about your grades and GPA in high school. And that is the beauty of the real world. When we grow up, our career choices and relationships won't be stunted by numbers. And if they are, maybe we're not going the right way in our lives. Hopefully, our peers and professors in college will be more impressed with our love for Christ and how we treat our classmates than our correct answers in class. With the last 30 seconds of my speech, I'd like to thank my parents. Y'all did an okay job raising me. Good job. And my teachers, y'all walked the good path, or the right path, for 15 years, and y'all are my example that I followed. And Mr. Wrigley for giving me the opportunity to speak today. Thanks. And that's it.
All right, parents, you did okay. All right. At this time, I'd like to invite Lexi Phillips and her father, Mr. Grady Phillips, to come sing the prayer.
I pray you'll be our eyes to watch us where we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved.
I pray we'll find your light.
Hold it in our heart.
We prayed so we'll find.
It's so we'll find.
Remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer. Shadows fill our day.
When shadows fill our day,
help us find a place.
guide us with your grace.
Give us faith so we'll be saved. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. We ask that life be kind. Watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer.
Let this be our prayer.
Just like every child.
Just like every child
needs to find a place.
faith, so we'll be saved. Needs to find a place, guide us with your grace. Give us faith, so we'll be saved.
You, Lexi and Mr. Phillips. This time I would like to introduce you to the valedictorian for the class of 2019. Some of her educational achievements include the yearly honor roll, 9th through 12th grade. In 9th grade, she received the Honors Biology 9 Award. In 11th grade, she received the Honors Anatomy and Physiology Award. In 12th grade, she was voted most likely to succeed. She was selected as a DeSoto Times Tribune Reaching for the Stars. She is one of our star students. She is a National Merit Finalist and a Mississippi State Presidential Scholar. Some of her school-related activities and organizations and leadership positions include being a member of the varsity tennis team for 4 years, a member of the varsity cross-country team, 12th grade, sports photographer for the yearbook as a junior, member of the National Honor Society, 10th through 12th grade, member of the National Honor Society president, 12th grade, Knowledge Bowl, 10th through 12th grade, a member of Mu Alpha Theta, 10th through 12th grade. Some of her local and community activities include Northwest Mississippi Junior Tennis for 4 years, vice president and co-founder of the Olive Branch Glamour Girls, La Bonheur Valentine over the summer, volunteered at Binghamton Christian Academy. She tutors for the ACT and for high school science. She is a member of Christ the King Church, where she works as a Vacation Bible School volunteer. She is a daughter of John T. and Mary Helen Russell with a grade point average of 4.827. Our valedictorian for the class of 2019 is Olivia Sinclair Russell.
Sorry, I'm a little shorter than Mr. Ferguson. Good morning. I cannot even put into words how excited and honored I am to be the valedictorian of this school and to be standing in front of you today. It is such a privilege to call my classmates and this faculty my family and Northpoint Christian School my home. But honestly, I've not always felt that way. It wasn't until just recently that I really began to appreciate this school. Truthfully, I have not always loved Northpoint, and I'm pretty sure if you ask the seniors here, they'll tell you the same about themselves. Most days, I didn't even really like Northpoint. There were some days where the only thing I liked about this school were the cookies in the cafeteria. Freshman year, I came to Northpoint from DeSoto Central, and I was enthralled by the novelty of a new school and a fresh start, but that glitter wore off, and I was left with a feeling at the pit of my stomach that I can only really describe as displacement. To be quite honest, I've always sort of had this feeling that I'm not quite where I belong. I moved to South Haven during kindergarten, and I'm both fortunate and unfortunate enough to remember a lot about my life in Louisiana. Those memories mean that I get to cherish that piece of my family history, but it also means that I'm often reminded of what we left behind. The same can be said about my move to Northpoint. I felt like I had left a piece of myself at my old school with my old friends, and then on top of that, you add the new heavy workload that came with high school and college prep academics, and by the end of freshman year, I missed home, and Northpoint was not my home at that time. But I stayed, and I made it to sophomore year, and sophomore year was when I began to really care about school. It was also when our academic load increased exponentially. I found a good group of friends, but I'd also lost some friends because I was no longer the new girl, I was just Liv. And just as everyone started to get used to me, I started to get used to Northpoint. I began to identify flaws in the school, and I became annoyed with rules I didn't understand or didn't quite like, and I'm pretty sure all the girls up here who've been got on to for their socks being too crazy can understand. So by the time sophomore year ended, I was completely jaded to the excitement that surrounded my previous year at Northpoint. And then junior year came. In junior year, I know if I asked any one of the students up there their thoughts on junior year, they would say it's the hardest year easily at Northpoint. I heard someone, and I won't name names, but it was the Slutorian, that described junior year as being punched in the face over and over again, and I think that's all I need to say about junior year. Senior year is the same as junior year, except for with senioritis. So by December of 2018, all I wanted was to graduate and just never see Northpoint ever again. So in January, when Mr. Wrigley asked me to write a speech for graduation, I smiled and I laughed, but in my head I thought, how on earth am I going to write another essay, and especially one about Northpoint? But graduation wasn't for another like 4-ish months, so I kind of just filed that thought away because I wasn't about to write the speech in advance. So the next class period, the day he asked me to write the speech, I was in economics, and a text scrolled across my laptop screen. That text changed my perspective on just about everything, and the next time I came to Northpoint, I saw it through completely different eyes. And I'm sure administration's relieved, considering I haven't said anything good about Northpoint yet, so it's coming. It was from my mother, the text was. I had taken a day off the previous day because her stomach had not been feeling well for some time, and I remember just seeing in her eyes that she needed someone to just stay with her. And my dad was on a trip somewhere in like Mexico or something because he's a pilot. So like all the time she had done for me, I stayed at home. But this morning, the morning that I received the text message, she assured me that she was fine, and she went to work and told me to do the same. So I did. I mean, it was probably just a stomach virus or an infection. The doctors weren't really sure when she went, but they gave her antibiotics, and like she said, she was fine. So I was not prepared for the text I received in 4th period economics. I'm having surgery, it said. What, where, when, I said. She said, I'm waiting on the surgeon now. Liv, can you come? I'm shocked. I didn't know what was happening. I think it took me at least a week before I even breathed long enough to think about what had been happening. I looked over at one of my friends in economics who sat next to me, and I tried to explain the text that I had just received and that I needed to go. And I know I didn't do a good job because my brain was just so muddled, but he must have sensed that something was not right because he told me, just go, I'll talk to the teachers, Liv, it's going to be okay. Now, we had the famous light bulb drop in physics that day, and for some reason, I really felt that it was important that I went and talked to Miss Skinner to let her know I was going to be missing it. I've kind of always had this habit of putting my stress off, like, into school. So I went to Miss Skinner's classroom, and I looked at her, and before I could even try to explain that I'd be missing class and that I'd watch the vodcast or get notes from another student or whatever, I burst into tears in front of a classroom full of sophomores. Miss Skinner dropped everything. She didn't even tell her class, oh, everyone do this problem, or find a substitute, or say she was going to be leaving or anything like that. She walked me towards the parking lot and insisted on driving me to the hospital, or at least insisted that I prove that I was calm enough to drive. She stopped me, she held me, and she prayed with me for my mom. When I got to the hospital, I was so relieved to find my mom before surgery and be able to hold her hand and be there for her. I remember the doctors asking me if I was 18 and then telling me that I was the adult, and their primary point of contact throughout surgery, so I needed to keep my phone on me at all times. You always think you're an adult in high school. When you're 18, you think, oh, I'm really an adult now. But I've never felt so small and so young. I knew I was 18 legally, and so I was an adult, but I was not an adult. How dare the doctor speak to me like I'm an adult? Can't I just be in 5th grade again? Can't I just rely on my parents again? Can't I take a nap with my head rested on my dad's shoulder? Can't I hug my mom while she tells me everything's okay? But I couldn't. I was the only conscious adult in my family in a 400-mile radius. Now, this is not my story. My mom went through so much more that week than I did, and I will never understand how she taught kindergarten without knowing how sick she was, or how she made so many jokes in the face of such change and stress. I thank God every day for blessing me with such a strong woman as my mom and for not taking her from me that week. But I must say, I have never felt so alone. But here's where my perspective on Northpoint shifted. Teachers called me while I was at that hospital, offering to come and stay with me, bring me anything I needed, and make sure that I wasn't alone. My friends and even classmates that I've never really spoken very much to took care of me. They prayed over me. They emailed, texted, and called. And you know when people offer to do a favor for you and you know they don't truly intend for you to take them up on it? That was not the case. I could tell that every single person who contacted me that week meant every word from the bottom of their hearts. I missed a dance that week, the Great Gatsby dance, and students took time out of their party to text me and ask how my mom was doing. A group of kids even sent us a video of them dancing to Bohemian Rhapsody so that I could dance along with my mom in the hospital. Northpoint, I didn't love you, but you were there for my family when we needed you most. You rallied around us, you prayed for us. When I made it back to school the next week, I saw things differently. I remembered everything I loved about each year on this campus. I remembered the science teachers who poured into me every year and directly influenced my career choice because of their passion. They showed me that science supports Christianity. All truth is God's truth. They showed me that being a woman means being strong and intelligent. I remembered the girls I met when I shadowed this school in 8th grade. They were why I ended up coming to Northpoint to begin with. They wrote all their Instagrams and phone numbers on a paper in study hall and gave it to me so that we could keep in touch in the summer before I even came to the school. I remembered how this school cared more about my mom's and my own well-being rather than all the tests, projects, and quizzes, which there were a lot of, that I missed while we were out. I remembered that Northpoint is a group of people, not a school, who influenced me and pushed me to do my best all 4 years that I was here. I realized that Northpoint is not an institution. Mr. Ferguson is not the head of a school. He's the head of a family. Seniors, I know you're ready to leave. It's really weird, they're back there, but I know you're tired. But don't let all the good that came from our adolescent years be washed over by your excitement for what is next. You can be both. You can be thankful for where you've come from and where you're going. And underclassmen, do not wait until senior year to appreciate your home. I'm talking about your family home and your Northpoint home. Love your family, friends, and teachers fearlessly because they love you back so much harder, even when you reject it. Don't wait until you need it to call it home. Northpoint, at the end of the day, home is what is there waiting for you, even when you leave it, when you spit in its face, and when you reject it. Home is what's there for you when you need it, even when it's not what you want. Home is who loves you, even when you don't appreciate that love. It's what accepts you without expectations. That's God, and that's what Northpoint was for me in this time. And so I'd like to conclude by thanking everyone who I have ever called home. My teachers and coaches, you've pushed me beyond my limits, encouraged me when I've fallen, and believed in me every moment, every mile, every tennis swing, whatever. My friends in the class of 2019, you've inspired me, supported me, and accepted me. My family, Mom, thank you for exemplifying strength and keeping me humble. Luke, for telling me everything will be okay. And Dad, for believing in me every second of every day. You taught me that home is not a single place. Some days my home is Paris, and some days it's Mexico. Wherever you go, my home goes too. Thank you.
Thank you, Olivia. At this time, I would like to invite the following leaders to take their places on the platform for the presentation of diplomas. Mr. Wrigley, our high school principal, Mr. Hinton, our high school assistant principal, Ms. Dye, our high school counselor, Pastor Lampley, Broadway Baptist Church. It's extremely important to each of us, to each graduate and their families, that every name be heard. So when it's called, please refrain from any behavior that would distract from any attention away from the graduates and their accomplishments on this special day. The class of 2019, it's time to present your diplomas. Will the front row please stand?
Micah Grace Barker. Madison Leet Beckham. Joseph Thomas Brinkley. Ann McKeel Durham. Alexander Thomas Dyer. Dylan Zane Fenwick. Kelsey Page Gray. Caroline Ann Ermshire. Sarah Elizabeth James. Meredith Joy Lee. Sterling Alexander McGee. Christina Tran Nguyen. Jared Taylor Pish. Gianna Maribella Richardson. Olivia Sinclair Russell. Logan Michael Smith. Caroline Marianne Sockwell. Rebecca Diane Starker. Morgan Elizabeth Stroud. Caroline Jennings Swindle. Emily Catherine Tupper. Caitlin Grace Williams. Emily Grace Young. McKinley Elizabeth Baker. Ian Austin Barnes. Mason Tyler Blythe Branning. Carlton Isaiah Brown. Sarah Grace Brown. J. Lamar Brumsey. Karina Tolentino Buenaventura. Tristan Keone Carlson. Francis McKenna Carney. Blake Jordan Cherry. Austin Randolph Cobb. Ethan Robert Costello. Dalton Anderson Davis. Ian Graham Dean. Matthew Michael Enders. Dominic Walker Riley Fleming. Jordan Christopher Flowers. Rebecca Carlisle Fox. Lindley Brooks Gaines. Denton Wayne Garrison. Sarah Elizabeth Gill. Hallie Nicole Goodwin. James Zachary Griffith. Caitlin Marie Haberstroh. Sydney Lane Hendricks. Jarrett Taylor Clay Hennigan. Jared McKeever Hoyne. Caden Price Hubbard. Heather Renee Hughes. Justin Charles Jones. Alexander Wade Martin. Abigail Lee McCaskill. Amara Nicole McKay. Taylor Delaney McMahon. Landon James Morrell. Clinton Bernard Norfleet. Presley Ann Norwood. Jasmine Chinomso Agbohi. Luke Leverett Parker. Elijah Daniel Paulk. Lexi J. Phillips. Connolly Payne Joseph Pinoco. Sarah Christine Raggio. Parker Allen Rosella. Jacob Austin Savage. Christopher Drew Schramm. Caitlin Taylor Stewart. Faith Marie Tatum. Cameron Lee Terry. Brian Torres. Hannah Kathleen Twitt. Jonathan Hunter Wagoner. Caroline Lee Walker. Paige Miller Yelverton. Courtney Elaine Young. And Deeldrick Ahmad Young.
Will all the graduates please stand? It's by the authority entrusted to me by the Board of Trustees of Northpoint Christian School to announce you graduates as members of the class of 2019. Congratulations. You may turn your tassels. Teachers, will you take your places? If they line up. Teachers.